And I am going to start the recording. So you currently see that it is asking you and alerting you that we are recording. I'm going to just admit the last few people into the waiting that was in the waiting room. And then we are going to jump start in. If you haven't had a chance to vote on the last poll question, is your first time attending a masterclass here with me, or if you have attended masterclasses in the past. Again, I said welcome to all of our newcomers and thank you to all of our returning, always rocking with us masterclass participants. So thank you so much. And we are going to end this poll and then we are going to go ahead and jump start. So let me end this one and share my screen. All right, can everyone see my screen? I'm going to put it on slideshow. If someone will just chat yes. Just want to make sure we are on point. Oh, which it doesn't look like it's trying to. Okay, here we go. Yes, so Ms. Brown said, yes, she can see my screen. Thank you so much for that. And so good evening again. Tonight's masterclass, thank you so much for tuning in, is Navigating Junior Year, Gain a Head Start to Your Dream College. And so we are excited we did the poll and we had several families here for 2025, and we also have a few parents from 2026. If you happen to be here from any other class, you can drop that in the chat. But remember, this master class was primarily for the class of 2025, and we invited 2026 and 2027 to sit in with us on this evening so that you can get some golden nuggets ahead of time. And so we are going to move right along. It says, wait a minute, okay, cool. If we are ready, we are going to move right along. So my first question is, does this sound like you? And so if you are just jumping in, please remember to mute yourself. Let's just make sure. Okay, so I wasn't going to do this, but let's go by housekeeping rules. I'm sure we are all not new to Zoom, but if you are jumping in, please make sure you immediately mute yourself. And then we will have Q&A at the end. And so feel free to ask any questions that you have. Plus, I have all of your questions that you submitted, so I will make sure they are intertwined throughout the presentation. And so I want my child to attend college without going into debt, but I am not sure how to navigate the college admissions process. If that is you and you say, I am definitely that parent who wants my child to go to college without accruing debt or without myself accruing debt, then chat a number 1 in the chat. And so my master classes, if you've ever been on before, you know they are interactive. I am not just talking to you. We are having a conversation together so that I can know exactly where you are so we can make sure you have the exact information you need before you jump off tonight. And so the next question is, I am on information overload, parent meetings, Google seminars, etc. Free opt-in for this, free opt-in for that. If that is you, parents, and you are feeling like you are on overload from all the information you have been receiving, but still no direction of which way to go, type a number 2 in the chat if that is you. And again, that means you're just on overload, like, okay, what is going on? Where are we going in this college admissions process? And so we are here tonight to make sure that you have some answers. If you are a champion parent if you say that I am a champion parent for my child and I want them to attend their dream school without debt, then I can relate because I am a parent of a college student also. And so we are all here at Suited for Success for champion parents like you. Why? Because I am one. And so my daughter is currently a college senior attending Bowie State University. She started off at McDaniel College here in Westminster, Maryland. Where she went her freshman, sophomore, first semester of her junior year, transferred to Bowie. So now she is finishing up at Bowie State University. McDaniel College is a $65,000 a year college, and we never paid anything for 3 years. And in fact, we got a refund check every semester. So, and she's at Bowie doing the same thing. So parents, the money is out there, and you can be that parent who can allow your child to go to school without going into debt. And so I know some of you are new to me and some of you are not, but I am going to introduce who I am. I am Regina Robinson. I'm the CEO of Suited for Success College Planning Services, where we have been helping students for over the last 15 plus years successfully win the game of college admissions. We have helped students gain over $25 million in scholarships and grants in every graduating class from our VIP College Bound programs. Shining stars continue to raise that number over and over and over. And literally, we have only been tracking for the last 5 years. So I can only imagine the true number over the 15 plus years. I am a former high school educator. I taught at Dr. Henry A. Wise, Frederick Douglass High School, and Duke Ellington School of the Arts. I am a former college professor of Trinity Washington University. I hung up my education hat, and for the last about 8+ years, I have been doing Suited for Success. And so I am excited to be here for you and your students. I am a proud graduate. As you can see, I am always repping my alumni, Bowie State University. I'm a bulldog for life. And proud of my undergraduate degree in business management, where I also went to receive my master's degree from Georgetown University. So go Hoyers. I also am a Hoyer for life. And so I don't promote college without that being something that I know is true. And if some of you have not heard On the Streets of These Streets, I am the Amazon best-selling author of the book Winning the Game of College Admissions, where Amazon ranks #1 for helping high school families navigate the college admissions process. And so listen, if you haven't gotten a copy of the book, you ought to run and get it off of our website. It is the best 1997 investment you will ever make in you and your child. So if you want to know more about me and that wasn't enough, I am definitely where you can Google me, but you can read my bio on our website. So we're not going to stay talking about me all night. We're going to get stuff down packed for you and your student. So number one's topic tonight is, how do I decide where to attend? Some of your students and some of the questions was, how do we find out what's the best college? How do we navigate it? How many of you know how many colleges there are in the United States? I want to see who can take a lucky guess and get as close to the number as possible. How many colleges do you believe is in the United States? Type it in the chat and let's see what numbers you come up with. I want to see if everybody is familiar with just how many schools your child or students, if you're familiar with just how many schools you have to navigate to get down to where you actually are. So I see someone said 536. Another family said 20,000. Any more guesses? We got 536, 20,000, very far apart from each other, but good guesses. So thank you for even taking time to guess. And so there are, I'm going to go ahead and give you the real number, over 4,000 plus colleges, as you see here on the screen, in the United States. That is a lot of schools. And so the golden amount of schools and national average to apply to is 5 to 7 with no more than 10. But a lot of students apply to 15. You hear on social media, people are applying to 20 and 30 and 40 schools. In the end, you can only go to one. And every college application costs a fee. So you want to make sure that you are strategic and you want to make sure that you are creating a list that is not just full of colleges, but that they're the right fit for you, somewhere you can call home for 4 years. When we are working with our shining stars, we are looking for schools that, listen, any school on their list, they love just as much as any of the other ones. So in the end, wherever they go, they're already in love. They already know it's going to be home for them for 4 years because why? They have already done the work to visit the colleges, make sure the colleges align to what they're looking for, and to make sure that they have the opportunity to say, this is somewhere I can see myself. So what does right fit really mean? Right fit is really about you looking at schools that aligned with where you are academically, where you are socially, and what type of culture and environment you're looking for. Some students are looking for PWI, which is predominantly white institutions. Then you have some schools that students who are looking for HBCUs, which are historically Black colleges and universities. And so there are a plethora of different opportunities. You have to decide, what is it that you're looking for? What type of college environment are you seeking out? Are you looking for sports? Are you looking for a lot of clubs and activities? Are you looking for fraternities and sororities? All of those things fall into place when you are considering whether the school is the right fit for you, whether it offers you what you need in your scope of looking for a college. Now, the next thing is your major. Are they a school that offer a strong program in your major area of study, whether it's business, whether it's biology, whether it's nursing, whether it's engineering, whether it's computer science? Does that school offer a strong program? Are they more of a research school or are they more of an interactive school? All of those things are key and important. Now, I can hear some parents saying, well, look, my child's a junior already and they don't even know what they want to major in, Miss Robinson. So I am just like, I'm over it. Well, no, here's the deal. Listen, I went to college and I changed my major 3 times while in college. Parents, some of us changed our major multiple times as well. You cannot expect your students to know exactly 100%. And if they do, they might actually want to change. I told you I have a daughter who's in college. When she first started doing this process, just like some of my other shining stars, we based it off of what majors is she actually interested in. She started off saying, "Mom, I want to do fashion." Okay, so allowed her to do some different fashion stuff when she was in high school. Then she said, "Well, Mom, I think I like forensic science." Well, sent her to a week program at McDaniel College when she was in her sophomore year, going into junior year for forensic science. Then she said, "Well, Mom, I think I like education." Well, y'all know me, parents. I don't want to force my child to major in what I major in. And so that's a nugget for you not to do the same for your student. But she had been working at our church nursery since she was 13 years old in the children's ministry. And so it gave her opportunity to be exposed in all areas. Now, as a junior, is a time for you to get exposure. Talk to people in your field of study. Talk to people that's in your major that you're considering. Have conversations with them. Parents, we have a network of people that we know and that we connect with. And social media allows us to reach out to the masses. Ask for people in your child's prospective majors. But here's a key also. When you are compiling your list of schools, it's important that you look for schools that have everything. So when my daughter was looking at colleges, all of her colleges offered fashion, forensic science, and education. So that by the end, whatever she decides, she had it all at whatever school she was at. And so come to find out, she decided it was going to be education. And so after all, I didn't have to pressure her. She discovered it on her own. So what's my nugget for you, parents? Let your students discover this. Just guide them, support them, and give them the resources so that they can have that opportunity. Next on the list is size. Are you looking for a large school, a medium school, or a small school? Are you looking for a school to, of course, be located maybe 3 to 5 hours, West Coast, East Coast? What are your parameters for when you are looking for schools? I always tell my students to please have, I always tell my families to please have a conversation because parents are believing that, you're saying, well, you know what? I want my kid to go 3 to 5 hours away, but my child wants to go on a week on the West Coast. And so you need to make sure you're having that conversation so that you can allow them to understand what your parameters are and allowing them to look at a school. So how do you go from 4,000 schools down to your top list? Here's what we do with our shining stars. We talk about location. We talk about size. We talk about PWI or HBCUs. We look at their major and we look at the culture of what fit they are looking for so that they can call home for 4 years. Those are the same keys for you to take and be able to help your students start mapping out, unless they're going to become one of our shining stars, how they're going to research and compile their list of colleges also. Next is, how do I win? Now that's always the key, right? And so I'm always saying that, listen, my students, we're on the winning team. I don't want no losers on my team. We are straight up the winning team. And we do whatever it takes to win, right? And so you can't win without positioning yourself as a student. That means when you walk into your high school in ninth grade, you cannot go back and repeat that. You cannot go back and repeat 10th grade now. Where you stand as a junior and when you end this school year, that is going to determine how you position yourself or what schools you're applying to, what schools are looking at you, and what schools are going to offer you the most money. That's key. That's important. So, college visits are a key way for you to win. If you have not already started visiting colleges, it is important that you start today. Uh, Spring break already passed, right? Or coming up. You want to look at schools. If you had took trips in spring break in your sophomore year or your freshman year. If you didn't, now is the time to do that junior year. Listen, I always say, parents, we would not purchase a home if we could not see inside first. We just would not make that type of investment. So, why would we be willing to invest in a college which costs anywhere in a given range for families $5,000 to $25,000 a year? Yes, you heard me. 5,000 to 25,000 plus a year. And so visiting colleges is key. Right now, we are gearing up and preparing. If you have not seen any of our emails for our spring break HBCU tour, where we'll go to Clark Atlanta, Spelman Morehouse, Virginia State, Hampton, Norfolk State, and then we will go to A&T and Central. And so if you have not already jumped on board, we still have 20 seats left on the bus for that. Grab you a seat for your student so that they too can be able to visit some of these colleges. Listen, you can't expect your children to know how to create a college list if they've never visited a college campus. Why? Because then they don't know about, I'm going back so you can see, they don't know about location. They're not familiar with size. They don't even know if the culture or the campus environment fits what they are looking for. So you see how these things go hand in hand when you're getting prepared to win. So college visits are key. One size does not fit all. SAT and ACT. Here are key things that you need to know about the SAT and the ACT. One of the questions was, when is our college tour? It's on spring break. So we leave out on March 26th. And nope, I'm sorry, March 25th, and we return on March 28th. So again, we leave on March 25th, which is a Monday. We return on that Thursday, March 28th. If that happens to not be your student's spring break, we do give students notes for them to turn into their school. All right, so now the SAT and ACT. Right now, your juniors will not really be affected by this, but if you're in ninth or 10th grade, you might have to have consideration for this. They are moving from paper-based testing to online testing now. And so you want to start getting yourself out there, getting your feet wet with taking practice online tests so that you can familiarize yourself. But for our 2025 students, everything is on paper. And so you should be taking the SAT and the ACT this year. Let me give you the timeline. If you don't get anything, please don't miss this. You don't know how many students, when I speak at all, because I speak at high schools all over. So if I've never spoken at your high school, I can come and speak at your high school. But I speak at all high schools, right, that bring me in to educate their parents on getting prepared ahead of time for the college process. By now, it is now January. So if you have not, within the next month or two, you want to, you should have taken an official SAT and ACT exam if you're in the class of 2025. Let me make sure I say that. Class of 2025. Right now, here is your testing timeline. 2026, listen in, because this will be your testing timeline next year. You want to take your first exam in the winter. This is considered the winter, December, January, February. Some of you've missed it, so add in March too in those months. You want to take an official SAT and ACT. Here's what we do with our Shining Stars. Once you have gotten your scores back, once you receive them in the online, we review them. We look at the conversion scale. We make sure everything is aligning, and we tell you whether you're a great SAT taker or ACT taker. Once you determine which one, we dismantle one and focus on the other. And so then you go back and you take it again a second time. Now, the second time is towards the latter spring. So that is April, May. Sometimes some of you will go overboard and don't do it in time, and then it winds up being June. So that's April, May, June. Then, if you want to get your scores just a little bit higher, third time is a charm. Last but not least, you take it again the third time, and that is summer, fall. So when is that? July, August, September, no later than October. Here's why. If you are applying to schools, you need test scores, right? Unless the school is test optional, and then you have to be leery about that. And so if you are putting in scores, you want to make sure you have your scores available, because in order to apply early action, notice I didn't say early decision. Early action, let me tell you the difference between the two. Early action is a non-binding contract. Early decision is a binding contract. Once you are accepted to the school that you apply ED, you need to rescind all of your other acceptance letters or your other schools. So let's just use this for example. Let's say you're applying to, and this school might not even be an EDEA school. I'm just using the school as an example. Let's say you're going to apply to A&T. North Carolina A&T, and you want to do ED. Once, and then you apply to Central, you apply to Virginia State, you apply to Townsend, you apply to College Park. Once A&T says yes, you have to rescind and reach out to all those other schools and let them know you're no longer interested, because it's a binding contract. Now, let's say you did early action, non-binding. Then you could keep all of your acceptances and then weigh your options. So here at Suited for Success, our Shining Stars, we highly encourage them to do early action. Let me tell you why we don't usually encourage or support our students in early decision. Because our children change their mind like the weather. And so one day they want this, and the next day they want that because the wind blew more this way. And parents is a binding contract. And so whatever that financial aid award letter says or does not say, you have committed to your child attending that college. And so you want to be mindful of that. So what's the national average for SAT and ACT? The national average for SAT per section is 550 plus. Now, I said that's just an average. The goal is to get as high as possible, which each section is 800 max. So the closer you can get to that, the better you are, right? The ACT composite of a 23 plus, the highest you can get is a 36. So of course you want to be as high as possible. So those are the averages for you taking the SAT and ACT. What is the benefit of you doing early action? Early action allows you to get in early, get in the pool for more scholarship money, get back your decisions early. And so here at Shooter for Success, I shine the stars. If a school offers early action, we are all in. We do not do regular, we do early action. Why? Because we want as much money as possible. We want them to get their acceptances as soon as possible, which right now, our class of 2024 cohort are getting in their acceptances. And so that's what doing early action benefits you and allows you to have that upper hand to say, okay, I already know that I've been accepted to X, Y, and Z. I'm only waiting for one or two more schools that maybe I didn't apply early action because they didn't offer it, right? And so early action is the idea fit for most students. Now, here's a caveat of that. I'm trying to say if I should tell y'all, because these are golden gems. I only share with my VIP students, but I'm going to go ahead and give y'all this one tonight. If I can get some emojis in the chat. Give me some emojis in the chat and I'm going to spill all the beans about the testing part. I was only going to leave you with what I just gave you with, but if you drop some emojis in the chat and there's enough emojis, then I'm going to spill all the beans. But I'm not spilling the beans for 2 emojis. We got how many parents on here? 25. I'm gonna need to see some more emojis than that if you want all the beans. And you guys know, if you've ever been on any of my master classes, you know I spills the beans. All right, so I think we got some momentum here. All right, so here's the deal. And so listen in, get close, and really hear me and take time to understand what I'm saying. A lot of you have heard the word test optional. And so some of you are saying, well, I'm just going to let some of your kids are saying, well, mom, dad, I don't even want to take the SAT and ACT. I'm just going to go test optional. Here's what you need to know. Test optional is great for some and not for all. What do I mean by that? It's great for some schools, but not for all. Test optional whenever you are applying, when you get ready to submit your applications. All of my Shining Stars do this. This is their task. They get it. They know they got to complete it. You must call the school before we decide test optional and ask them. I'm telling y'all, this is a golden gem. Are you test optional with penalty or without penalty? Now, what does that mean? With penalty means you cannot get the full granted merit aid if your child qualifies. And parents, I don't know about you, but I want all the money they got because I want schools to pay my child to attend and not my child to pay to attend. And I guarantee you that each and every one of you feel the same way. So you want to know, are they test optional with penalty or test optional without penalty? That is the key golden nugget right there. Do not miss out on that. Do not miss out on making sure your child, do not let them convince you to say, I only need to take one test. Ms. Robinson doesn't allow that in her program. You cannot just take one test. You must take both. Here's why. You never know what you're great at until you try. And so when you become one-sided, you block yourself in and put yourself in a box. What happens if you had did the other test, scored higher, and now opened the doors for more money? We don't leave any money on the table as Suited for Success, okay? We want all the money. And so please, parents, don't allow your students to just automatically say, because the schools are only talking about the SAT, they are not encouraging your kids about the ACT. Well, Ms. Robinson is encouraging them about both, because I want you to have all the resources and tools you need, again, to win the game of college admissions, because it is a game and you just need to know what chess pieces do you have on the board, and when do you move them, and when do you keep still? And so we need to make sure you are equipped so you have all the answers. So remember, I'm sorry, you guys, I have like a cold coming on, so I'm trying not to keep letting my nose just be all over the place. One size does not fit all in the SAT and ACT. So make sure you are taking all the nuggets and the golden gems I just shared, and you are putting them together, you're writing notes, and you know what steps you're going to take, okay? Now, last but not least, what's necessary in winning? Crafting your unique story. What does that mean? Your college essay. Your college essay matters now more than ever. And why is that? Because colleges are looking at your essay heavily. What is it that your essay should entail? Here's the golden nuggets. Get your notes ready. Get your notes ready. First things first is I always tell students, and so here's what I know. Students, you don't like to be corrected, but you would rather myself, your parents, your English teacher, or someone else you trust really well to correct you than for you to get a denial in your acceptance because your essay was not good enough. And so which one would you prefer most? For me, and my students, I'm going to always tell you that you need to expect that your essay is important and you want a second eye reader so that you can understand the fundamentals of making sure you have a great essay. So you don't have a great essay until you've done at least 3 to 4 drafts. You don't have a great essay unless your introduction starts with fireworks and your conclusion ends with a bang. If I start reading the introduction and I'm not intrigued, let's start over. Right? And so although my students, my shining stars, they are not always intrigued by my start over method, or let's work on this a little harder, when they get those acceptance letters, they come back and say, Ms. Robinson, now I thank you for pushing me to make sure my essay was stellar. Some of our students have won scholarship money for their essays. Why? Because some colleges do give money for you writing a stellar college essay. So you want to make sure that you are putting emphasis into your college essay. You are not waiting the night before. You are not waiting the week before. You are starting today. Our Shining Stars have already started crafting their essays. Now, I know someone is saying, well, I don't even know what to write about, Miss Robinson. All right, here I go again. One more golden nugget. One more. I got one more, but only if I see a bunch of number threes. If I see a bunch of number threes, then I'm going to give the golden nugget about the essay. Bunch of number threes, bunch of number threes. And then that way I know you need this resource. And then I know that students are really, really intrigued to say, okay, Ms. Robinson, I just want to get my essay done. I just don't know where I'm going or what I'm doing with it, but I know I want to get it done. All right. So here's the golden nugget, students. Go to Google tonight when you're done with this masterclass and Google Common App Common App essay questions. There are about 7 to 8 prompts. Review those prompts. Choose the two you feel the most, that like you get that tingle when you read the question, right? Take 2 of them. Right in here, I'm giving you exactly what the Shining Stars in my VIP program do. Take those 2 questions, write an introduction paragraph, 3 to 5 sentences. Remember, I said fireworks, 3 to 5 sentences. Leave a little suspense so that you can kind of rope in the reader so that they want to finish reading the rest. Give it to a second eye reader. Ask them which one resonates the most and is compelling to them the most, and that's the one you're going to take off running. And you're going to finish writing the remainder of your essay. So again, Common App questions, pick 2, write your introduction paragraph, let a second eye reader read it, and then go from there. That's exactly what I do with my students. They come to me, I read their first paragraph, I tell them exactly which one I think they're going to be able to tell a compelling story about. If they do a little tweaks here and a little tweaks there, and off they go. And we go paragraph by paragraph by paragraph until they're finished with a stellar story, because it says craft your unique story. And so here's some bonuses. You can be the star quarterback, you can be the star volleyball player. What about that makes you a leader? What about that makes you a student? What about that makes you shine as a person? What have you learned as a result of being that quarterback or that football player or that soccer player or that volleyball player? How has that allowed you to mentor your peers or be that leader for the people on the team? See, that's what they want to know, not that you're just a star quarterback, right? There's a bunch of star quarterbacks in the high school realm of kids applying to college. So, college visits, one size does not fit all, and craft your unique story. When you get those 3 down pat, you can win. Here's a success story from one of our former Shining Stars of the class of 2023. She is now attending Spelman College. Lindsay Simmons. Lindsay earned over $806,000 plus in scholarships. She said Student for Success was a great resource for me, especially because Ms. Robinson was amazing help when I was writing college essays. And so listen, college essays are key. You cannot get around them. You must use them in order to leverage yourself in the college process. The ultimate goal is, how do you stand out amongst the thousands of students who are applying to the exact same school as you? So I want you to just kind of think of, if everyone has been to New York before, Times Square. You can imagine on New Year's Eve, everybody is in Times Square. But let's just imagine everybody was there wearing all black and you showed up and you were wearing red. You're going to stand out in the crowd, right? You're going to be noticed. People are going to take note. Well, that's exactly what we support students in doing and navigating and standing out in the college application process. And I'm giving you the tools to do the exact same thing. So, how can I pay for my child's education without going into debt? I know the parents are like, "Whoo, finally, girl," because I wanted to talk money. If that was you, drop a money sign in the chat. I know you're like, all I wanted to do was get to this money part because I am pulling my hair out and I just don't know what to do, or I am scratching my head, or I am running around here trying to figure out how we are going to pay for college. Because remember, I said 5,000 to upwards of 25,000 per year. But students and parents, we want to get that down to as close to zero as possible. Now, let me dispel this myth because I can only imagine there are parents on here right now saying, well, Miss Robinson, girl, I want my child to get a free ride. If that's you, I don't know, drop some kind of emoji in the chat. I just want my child to get a free ride. Yes, my child gonna get a free ride. I'm gonna wait on this one because I can't wait to see how many emojis I get in the chat. If that was you and that's what you're saying, I want my child to get a free ride, let me see the emojis in the chat. Because 9 times out of 10, when I say this, the chat is blowing up, right? And so if that is you, let me dispel that myth, right? So here's how you understand that. If your child did not walk into 9th grade with the attitude and the confidence of, I refuse to do the average, I am determined to be above average. And so they have been doing that since 9th grade when they walked in high school. They have been receiving all A's. They have been taking AP and honors courses. They are doing possibly dual enrollment. If they have not walked into high school with that mentality and they've been prepping for the SAT and the ACT since they can remember, then 9 times out of 10, that whole going to school on a full ride does not exist, right? And so there are fundamentals that go into that because for so long that everybody was on this, I'm gonna get my child gonna get a full ride. There's fundamentals that go into a full ride. It's just not all the school giving you a full ride. You need scholarships that you've done on your own. You need to make sure that you were academically preparing yourself. You need to make sure that you were taking the right courses, getting involved in community service, getting involved in extracurricular activities. See, then you can say, I'm looking for a full ride, right? Because now you've set yourself up since 9th grade to prepare for that statement. But here are 3 things that's going to help either way. The FAFSA, which parents for the class of 2025, please hear me say this. The FAFSA is not open for you. It is not yet. Your child is not a senior in high school yet. Until your child is a senior in high school, and if they go back right now, you know, the FAFSA didn't quite open till like almost January, right? So next year, I guess they will stand tall on December 1st once they get all the kinks worked out. But you're on my email list. I'm going to keep you abreast to all of that, right? But keep in mind the FAFSA does not open for you until your child is a senior. The FAFSA dispels scholarships, grants, and loans. Now, they dispel different reasons. So people think that the FAFSA awards them money. They do not. The FAFSA is a database. It collects your information. It takes your information and then it transitions it to the colleges you have applied to. The colleges you apply to review it, and they create a financial aid award letter for you when it's that time. So that means your child would have been accepted to that school. They would have completed their FAFSA senior year, and then they will receive a financial aid award letter. Now, on that financial aid award letter, it will break out scholarships. Now, there are several forms of scholarships. There are scholarships from the school, there's scholarships from departments at the college, and then there is called what is station, and this is the biggest part of scholarships, and it is what you call merit aid. Parents, colleges don't care how much money you make. Colleges don't care your credentials, none of that when they are looking at your child for merit aid. What they do care about is that your student had a GPA of a certain caliber and test scores of a certain caliber. And that's how they determine if your child receives merit aid. Merit aid is a repetitive fund that comes all 4 years when your child is in school, as long as they maintain the academic requirements to keep their merit aid. And so merit aid is the #1 way to pay for college. Here at Student for Success, our Shining Stars, we are looking for schools that's going to give students merit aid. But now, you can't be a low GPA student and think we're going to find you schools for merit aid because there's no merit aid for you. But if you're a high academic achieving student, we are looking for the schools that you're going to receive merit aid. So a bunch of my students have already received acceptance letters, and their parents have made back their investment in my program 6, 7 times, okay? With one letter they've made back their investment plus some extra money because their child is getting awarded merit aid for the next 4 years. So if they get $10,000 for 1 year, times that by 4, they just got $40,000 and they nowhere near paid me that. And so, parents, merit aid is your first way to fund your child's college education without going into debt. The second way is the FAFSA if you qualify for scholarships and grants through the FAFSA. The third way is for your child to apply for scholarships. So if you're not on our scholarship membership, if you are not a member of our scholarship membership, you should be. It's $19.97 and we send you scholarships every month. All you have to do is apply. You spend that in Starbucks in a week, if not way more. And so which one is the return on investment that you believe is going to benefit you in the long run? And so your child should be looking for scholarships. And then next, whatever you have possibly saved, whether you have 529 plans or whether you put aside some savings for them to go to college. And then last but not least, loans. So this is the last piece of the pie. And because why? This money must be paid back. And you only should be borrowing what you need. There are 2 forms of loans that you can get by applying for the FAFSA. Once they approve, send it out and your school sends you the financial aid award letter. There are 2 loans they're going to disperse. Subsidized, which means it does not accrue interest the entire time you're in college. You start paying that loan back, students, 5 months after you graduate from college. You get your first bill. Unsubsidized, they accrue interest the entire time you are in college. And what you can do is start paying the interest on it by just talking to the loan company to find out what that interest is per month. Then you have the infamous Parent Plus loan. And parents, that is a loan that is in your name 100% that you must pay back. So if your child decides to go to school for 1 week, 1 month, or 1 year, you still owe that loan that you borrowed. So be mindful before you start borrowing in your name. Students, the only way you can get additional money in your loans is if your parent does not qualify for a Parent Plus loan. So every year, your amount of loans that you may get increases. It starts at $5,500 freshman year, then it goes up sophomore year, then it goes up junior year, then it goes up more senior year. Now, are loans bad? Absolutely not. Some families need them to offset their child's college education. My goal for you is to borrow wisely. Only borrow what you need. Be strategic in what you borrow, and that will help you to go to college without going into debt. According to National Scholarship Providers Association, $100 million in scholarship money goes unawarded every year. I have to say that number again because I need it to sink in. $100 million in scholarship money goes unawarded every year. Why? Because students are not doing scholarships. Let me give you a nugget. Well, you know what? This is a really extra one. I don't know about giving out all of my extras to you guys. Let me think about it for a second. I guess I'll go ahead and give you guys this one too. Here's what we do. Here's what our students do as our shining stars. We make sure that our students understand the importance of scholarships, and here's why. Every month, they are required to text myself and their parents the amount of scholarships they have applied to. And they have a requirement of numbers, meaning 10, 15, 20. Now, their parents are well aware. If their child is not texting, you can see just like I can see that they are not texting. So, that means they believe you have the money to fund their education because they're not applying for any scholarships. And so what I recommend to all of my Shining Star families is that you create what we call a scholarship night in your house. And it might be multiple nights depending on how much you want to earn in scholarship money. When my daughter was getting in high school, we had scholarship night on a regular basis. She was on one computer, I was on another, and we were all, and I mean all, applying for scholarships. Sometimes we made it a family night, okay? Because at the end of the day, it will come out of your pocket if you do not apply for scholarships. And for some, it's going to be the deciding factor between your number one school or your number two or three school because you never applied for any scholarships. So please, scholarship night is a must. Do not allow scholarships to be a second thought in your household, and do not allow them to be optional. Nothing is ever optional, even in the college process. So make sure you are applying for as many scholarships as possible. Are you familiar with DC Tag for DC residents? So DC Tag, remember, is up to $10,000 for in-state and out-of-state, and the school must be a participating school. So those are two things for you to remember when it comes to DC Tag for DC residents. Do they have a list of these scholarships? So our students that are our Shining Stars in our VIP program, yes, they get a list every single month. It's on an Excel spreadsheet. Same list that goes out to our monthly scholarship membership list. The only difference is the monthly scholarship members who are a part of that never get me and never see me. The difference with my students is they're with me all the time. And so if they have an essay they need to write, or if they have an application they're struggling with, they just put it in their portal and I support them with completing it. So yes, they do have a list. Next, top 50 percentile. So here, when I tell you this slide, I'm about to just give y'all all the juice on this slide. I've already started giving you the juice, but this is the top part of the juice with the icing on the cake, juice. I'm getting ready to give you the juice. The top 50 percentile, what does that mean? Merit aid is based on the top 50 percentile. What does that mean? That means your student ranks top 50 at that school. So let's drop, I'm going to say Townsend for now. And we can say College Park, Townsend, whichever one you want to drop. Let's go with College Park first. College Park, average students to get in, probably 90+% of their students come in with a 3.75 or above cumulative GPA from their junior year. Top 50 percentile, you know that means your student, if they're applying to College Park and they're thinking about getting any merit aid, they need to be in that ballpark. Is it doable? Absolutely. I have had plenty of my students get accepted to College Park and get merit aid. But you have to be in the top 50 percentile at any school. I'm just using College Park as an example, but any school, you can get merit aid, but you need to be in the top 50 percentile. The 50 percentile is based from the students who came in the year before your students. So they're going to look at their rates to see where the students came in with GPA and test scores. And they're going to say, okay, we're looking for students in this range, and the students must have this GPA and this test score, and then they can get this amount of money. Now, they might have this GPA, but their test score is here. Are they going to get the amount of money that's on that line? No, but they might bring the number down and give you some more of some of that piece of the puzzle, but maybe not all of the pie, but even a piece of the pie. Parents, I don't know about you, is good enough for me, right? I just want some of it. And so that's what your students will get if they align themselves with schools that they align to merit aid. Here's why big parents are going into debt paying for college. Because students are looking at schools, and we're talking about students who have the right GPAs. We can't align students who have a 2.5 or below. We just can't put you in alignment with this. But if your student is at a 3.5 plus or 3.0 plus, you are wanting to look at schools that you align with. Your students are not looking at schools based off of merit aid. They are looking at schools based off of popularity, how many go from their school the year before, if their parents went there, if their girlfriend or boyfriend go there, which is a huge mistake. And then if they just think that, oh, it's in a good area, or, oh, I want to get far away from home. That's how your students are creating their list. That is not the way to create your college list. That is 9 times out of 10, a student creating lists is blindside like that, either going to go to school and financially can't afford it in the end, They're going to go there and they're not happy. They're going to go there and realize their boo found a new boo and now they're not interested in being their boo. So now they want to come back home and be your child again. And so those are all the wrong reasons. The top reason your student should be looking at colleges is because they believe they rank 50 percentile to get the merit aid. That's why you can see the young lady, Lindsay, have all of that money in her letter because that's what we were looking at. You need to make sure you are looking at the exact same thing so that you can align your students. And that's why we can say we help students get over $25 million in scholarships and grants. Why? Because we've cracked the code. We already know that the merit aid comes in if you're in the top 50 percentile. So when we're helping our students create their list, guess what? It's a list of schools where they have a bunch of top 50 percentile schools. Now, Ms. Robinson is not a dream killer, but I am a reality checker. And I let the students know and the parents know, here's the deal. We can put that school on your list, but you are dreaming, and we're going to be praying on that dream, hoping that God's going to bless you. But if He does not, because you knew all along it was a big possibility that it wasn't coming to pass, then you will be okay with that. And so we need to make sure we understand that there are dreams, and we don't want to take that away from our children, but we do also want to make sure you can financially afford to send your kids to college, not just for 1 year but for 4 years. Anaya Williams was our class of 2023 student. She is currently at North Carolina Central University, and she is an amazing young lady. She got over $365,000 in scholarships as well. She said, personally, it was a good experience and helped me out really well in applying and getting into college, especially with getting my college essay together and finding a school that was really for me. Also helped with getting scholarships and money opportunities to help the financial portion, helping with getting your FAFSA together. It was overall a good experience, and I would 10 out of 10 recommend. The deal with Anaya was she was a young lady who came to me as a referral from another family. Her mom didn't find me until Anaya was in her senior year, literally with a month, I think it was about 40 days left before. See, my students don't get to apply to college after November 15th. Why? So I gave you guys that date earlier, and I hope you listened to that date. They do not get to apply to colleges after November 15th. Why? Because I said the earlier you get in, the more you find out, the more money you get. So I literally met her about 40 days, it might not even been that many days, before it was time for my November 15th cutoff. So we had a lot of work to do, but can I tell you, it can be done, but you have to be committed to this process and you have to be prepared. So it was unfortunately that she didn't find me into her senior year. So what she had was what she had. You're on here early as 10th and 11th graders, you get an opportunity to get a head start early, or you get the knowledge that you need ahead of time. Imagine for a moment what life would be like if you could navigate the college admissions process with confidence, identify the schools and programs that are the right fit based on your child's needs and goals, stay ahead of the process so you don't miss important deadlines. Students, get organized. Deadlines are deadlines. It's not like your student, it's not like your high school teacher, because I was one, remember? And so it's not like us telling you because you cried or your mom or dad sent an email saying, can we give you an extension? Colleges do not extend. You must turn in your information on time. If you do not, you will not be looked at as an applicant of that school. Number 4, manage all your applications so you know where you are at all times in the process. Find grants, scholarships, and programs that will enable your child to attend the college of their dreams without going into debt. Would that be valuable to you? I'm going to pause and let you tell me in the comments yes or no. Would that be valuable to you? All 5 of those benefits, would that be valuable to you? So I'll wait and give you a chance to say yes or no. And then I have another poll question too. All right, so majority of the parents are saying yes. Yes, yes, yes. Thumbs up, which of course is yes, yes, yes. And so here's what I would be renowned if I did not share with you how we can support your family and how your family could benefit from us. So you do not have to imagine anymore what that would be like. I'm going to share with you about our VIP College Bound program, to talk to you about our shining stars a little bit more and let you know what it looks like for your family to be a part of that if you would like. So we have an exclusive online database, which anybody who has ever been on my master classes before will tell you that I have never, ever shown behind the scenes of my online database. But tonight, I'm going to show you. Cohort for Zoom sessions. The students are in a small group cohort according to their grade level. So the class of 2025 is together, the class of 2026 is together. Family consultation, where we come together and create a roadmap for your student individually. Although they're in a group cohort, they're still individual to me. Their academic profile is reviewed. I go through their transcript with a fine tooth to make sure they are on track, make sure we have something to work with. We work with them on creating their list of colleges, go from 4,000 to their top 7. They get to apply to 5 to 7 schools in our program. Anything over that, they do on their own. We also work with them on their academic resume. We work with them on getting recommendation letters. We work with them on their college applications and scholarships. We also work with them on their essay from beginning to end. We also tell them about SAT and ACT, which test to take. We do not prep, but we do advise them on what test to take. And we also give parent support on the FAFSA if they are in need of support. So these are all things that we include in our College Bound program. Now, the class of 2021 cohort earned over $1 million because I had less kids that year. The class of 2022, I had way more kids and they earned $6 million plus dollars. Class of 2023, I said, okay, let me take less kids again. And they earned $4 million plus dollars. So as you can see, there is money to be received. You just have to do your part to position your student to receive that money. Now, our VIP College Bound program supports you in finding the right fit school and securing the bag, the money. We call it the bag. Rain Britt is one of our shining stars. She's at Old Dominion University. She's one of my current and continuous mentees. She earned over $376,000 in college scholarships. She says, Ms. Robinson has helped me every step of the way during my college process. She helped me fill out my Common App and my FAFSA. Student for Success gave me guidance when I needed it. I will always be thankful for Ms. Robinson and her help throughout my stressful senior year. So we want to make sure senior year is not stressful. That's why we take on our students. And so here's where you can look at our VIP College Bound program. You can scan this QR code, or my assistant is going to drop the code in the chat to take you directly to our page. Where you can see this program as well. Now, our class of 2025 and our class of 2026, the price is here. However, tonight, because you showed up, which means you are committed to your student, that is not the price for you tonight. So, Nathalia, if you can drop the VIP program link in the chat, that would be great. And then parents, you could either scan this code here to go to the details, or we will put the link in the chat also where you can grab it. Tonight, only tonight, because you showed up tonight, we are honoring, I done switched the thing. We are honoring parents who are live, the VIP code $500 off. That means if you are interested, we will give you $500 off of the program costs for the class of 2025, which brings it down to an investment of $6,000. And remember, I told you, you get that back in one acceptance letter, double, triple times that. Or the class of 2026 for you, it's $6,500. This is your student being with us at this cost until their senior year, May 15th. So it is not this junior year and senior year. It is this one time. And your child is with me until their senior year, May 15th. And so again, you can put in the code VIP 500 when you go to the link that you click on the QR code, or that's in the chat, you can put VIP 500 exactly the way you see it, and it will give you the discount code. Now, we have a full pay option. And we also have a 10 payment plan option. So you do not have to pay in full all at once. You can pay in full, or you can make 10 payment plans if you're in the class of 2025. If you're in the class of 2026, Nathalia, can you drop the 2026 in there as well? It will be both links in there for you also. So I'm going to, best of all, I guarantee you, so if you're on the fence, you're like, this sounds good, Ms. Robinson, but I just don't know. I guarantee you that if you don't see results after our first meeting, which is called our VIP family onboarding consultation, we'll give you your money back. Because I already know you're going to get results from the first meeting. Most parents get on our first meeting and say, oh my God, I was never aware of all of this. I'm so excited we went ahead and took the jump. And so literally, after our first meeting, if you're not happy, we give you your money back. Now, we only have, for the class of 2025, 6 spots left because I only work with a small amount of students. For the class of 2026, we have 4 spots left. Why? Because I don't take as many 2026s until they become juniors. Right now, they're still sophomores. And so class of 2025 is our juniors. We have 6 spots left. Class of 2026, we have 4 spots left. If one of those spots is yours, all you have to do is, again, put in VIP 500, click the link, and it will give you that discount code. And this is also just the same code. Now, if you're a family who says, I have questions, I'm not sure, I need to ask a little bit more before I can sign up my child or enroll my child, you can scan this code. Or Nathalia, you can put our Contact Us Discovery Call link in the chat, and you can book a discovery call with us. Now, the VIP 500, you can only use that code. Today is Tuesday. That code expires 48 hours from today. So on Thursday, that code will expire. And so VIP 500 will no longer be available on, that will be Thursday, the 25th at 11:59. That code will no longer work at 12 a.m. And so again, we are offering you because you showed up. You're not on a replay. You're not on any of that. You are here with us live tonight. You can put in the code VIP 500. If you have questions, again, you can book a discovery call, or you can ask them right now during our Q&A segment, and we will be more than happy to answer any questions that you might have. Now, for some of you were asking about our scholarship membership. It's here. This is the QR code. You scan it and it will take you to our scholarship membership page. We will also drop that in the chat thread where you can click on our scholarship membership. It's $19.97 a month. Again, you spend that in Starbucks. Why not spend that on your membership? If you get one scholarship you win, you've paid 10 times, right, for the scholarship membership. With just one scholarship for $500 or $1,000 or even $300, you've already received that information. So you can join our scholarship membership as well. You can connect with us on social media by scanning this QR code and follow us on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram. Stay in the know. We post college-bound tips every day, all day on our social media. If you are just trying to stay in the know, connect with us on social media and let us keep you in the know. So you are not trying to figure this thing out on your own. You have support. You have us there to navigate, to support you, and to go with you on this journey. So I'm going to take it back to this screen. So if you need it, you can see it. In the meantime, please, by all means, any questions you have, do not hesitate to ask any questions. And in the meantime, I am going to answer the questions that you submitted in your thread when you put in your actual questions. So I am going to answer those questions now, and then you can type questions in the chat, or you can raise your hand and I will answer those questions. One final thing, because I know somebody is saying, Ms. Robinson said she's going to show us the back door of her online system, and she did not do that. So I am going to show you guys that the power of what it means to have access to our back door. So give me 1 second and I'm going to pull it up. All right, so here's what it looks like in our backdoor. You can't get this anywhere, so it doesn't matter if you copy or paste it or whatever. You have to actually be a college counselor to get it. And so my students get access to their own account. Here's what I want you to see about the importance of looking at schools from a 50 percentile option that we talked about with that merit aid. Here's the most important part of what I want you to see. I have to wait for it to spool because it might have logged me out. Can you guys still see my screen? I need to make sure I'm still on share. You can still see my screen, correct? Can someone say yay? I think someone said yes. Good. Okay, awesome. So let me log in as this student because it's not, this is just our play account, but you can see everything from it because I couldn't log into one of our actual students for their privacy. So all right, so let me show you what I'm talking about. So when you're looking at colleges, here are key things. Here's what the students have access to, everything about a college. So let's just click Salisbury. It's here in, let me make sure it has what I want. Yes, so we're going to click Salisbury University, which is right here in Maryland. So when a student clicks that particular school, here's what they get to see. They get to see how many students attend that school, whether the school is small, medium, or large, whether the school is public or private. Then they get to see the selectivity of the school. So how many students are admitted? This selectivity button is key because that tells you how many kids are getting in and not getting in because it's hard to get into the school. They also tell them this blue line, all of my kids know this is an important line, that needs to be 75% or above. The closer it is to 100, the greater it is. That means they are retaining students from year to year. This is what they have access to, the students and their parents. Now, I said 50 percentile. How do they know what their 50 percentile? How do we know? It tells us. So this particular student GPA is a 3.5. Salisbury average GPA is a 3.67. So if you are looking at this, do you believe that they would get merit aid? Yes. They're close to the average, almost sitting on top of the average. And so they would get merit aid from this school if they're in alignment with their test scores. So this is telling them that the school is looking for a 22 to 27 in a composite ACT and a 1100, it's stifling for some reason on that, a 600 to a 660 in reading and writing, and then a 580 to 660 in math. And so this gives the student everything they need to know about that particular college. Then on top of that, the students are able to go to the college and find out if the college offers their major. So if they're an education student, they know this school offers education. They can click on it and see all the different programs the students offer, whether they have a bachelor's and a master's. They can look and see all of the information about the actual school. And so they are able to do this in their breakdown of the actual college. And so they know everything about their school right here at their fingertip. And so each one of them get access. But here's what's important for parents. Here's the cost. They tell you the cost for in-state, out-of-state, whether it's private or public, it will be here. They tell you over here how it's broken down into grants and aid that the school gives. And then they go a little bit further and tell you in range, if your income is ranging in these ranges, this is what you're going to 9 times out of 10 receive as a net price, meaning what you're going to pay out of pocket. And so parents get to see all of this and students get to see all of that at their fingertip. So you literally, this is behind the scenes that I never show, but I wanted you to see what your student gets access to. This alone is worth the investment of the program, because where else will you find this information? You don't. I wouldn't even have this information. And so, but seeing the information and knowing how to interpret the information is two different things also. And so I know how to come in when the students are putting in their list and interpret exactly what it is and how they're going to align to that particular school. So we are 100% when we tell you the program is definitely your return on investment. It is your return on investment. We do not hide anything. We support you. We back you up. We make sure the student and the parent has everything they need. But most importantly, our program is a program designed to make sure your students become self-advocates. I told you I wore the high school hat and the college professor hat. So as a professor, I know exactly what the next level is looking for from them and what they will not what they are not expecting as a student. And so the program prepares them to become self-advocates for themselves so that they know how to navigate not only the rest of their high school career, but that they know how to walk into college and thrive and not just survive. So that was just showing you the backdoor of what it means to look at a 50 percentile and how your student can align by their GPA and their test scores when they're actually looking at schools. So any questions? Does the parents have any questions or students have any questions? Majority of the questions I'm skimming through now, I've already asked. I'm sorry, I've already answered. And so one question I didn't, someone says recommendation letters. Remember, you need a recommendation letter from your teacher and your counselor, and then a third person. A third person can be a youth minister, another teacher, a principal, an academic advisor, a coach. You can get that as your third person for actually getting a recommendation. Someone says, how do I qualify for free college applications? If you're a free and reduced lunch student, you can qualify for application fee waivers. Here's another bonus. If you attend a college for a campus visit, you can also ask, do they give fee waivers because you visited the college? That's another way to get some free applications. Yeah, so I got I'm skimming all the questions you guys submitted to make sure I didn't miss any. All right, so any final questions from you? So now I'll open up the floor and please, by all means, ask any questions that you might have. I will check the chat and make sure I did not miss any questions, but please, you can come off a mute and ask your question. You don't have to do it on in the chat. You can put it in the chat or you can simply come off a mute. I got the DC tag question. Let's see, is the Common App the best way to apply to schools? Is it just one fee? The Common App is, so it's not necessarily, let me not say it's the best way, but the Common App is an application portal that is open. There's two Common Apps, so let me make sure you're clear about which one. So there's a commonapp.org. It houses thousands of colleges, and it is a one application, separate fee for every school. So one application, separate fee for every school. And then there's the HBCU Common App that allows you to apply to multiple colleges at one price. But it's only, your information goes to the 4 schools first, and then you have to follow up with the remaining schools. So that's the caveat of that HBCU Common App one. So someone said, why didn't my daughter stay at McDaniel? She was tired of the whole on-campus living thing and she wanted to come back home. And so Bowie, she commutes to. McDaniel, she couldn't commute to. It was over an hour and a half away. All right, any other questions, please continue to ask questions. I will continue to answer them in the chat. We have a little bit more time. So by all means, please ask any questions that you might have. When can parents expect to see merit scholarship letters? Do they come out with the school acceptance letters? Some award money come in your acceptance letters when you are a graduating senior and you've applied to all your colleges and they give you a yes or no. Some of those letters come with the money automatically. And then others only come out during your financial aid award letter time. And those award letters probably now with the FAFSA change, it won't come to somewhere, I would say starting maybe April on. And so some might get it out earlier, but April is probably going to be around the time you could expect those award letters, unfortunately, with the FAFSA doing all these changes. I think I had one more poll question. Oh, okay, yeah, I did. I had one more poll question. I'm just posting it. You guys can see, how did you hear about the masterclass? Was it our newsletter, email, friend, or social media? Does your program help students with college interviews? Yes. So if the students are applying for a college and they have to do an interview, then yes, we do talk about the college interview process. Most colleges really don't do college. Well, most colleges don't have college interviews unless your kids are in the arts. And when I say in the arts, meaning they're doing theater, dance, or film and stuff like that. And then they have auditions, right? And so if they have auditions, then yes, they're more like auditions as opposed to interviews. Um, I may have missed this. When do students begin applying to school, specifically 2025? So class of 2025, remember, applications open August 1st on the Common App, and then multiple schools start dropping their apps as well. And you want to try and make sure you apply no later than November 15th. Absolutely, Thanksgiving should be your last date that you would want to apply. Because then after that, you're kind of like, okay, a lot of schools out of state have already accepted as many students as they're going to accept, and you don't want to miss out on not being able to get your part in. So you want to make sure you are doing that, okay?
Hello, this is Danelia Harris, and
Hi.
I was asking more about your cohorts, and can you give more details regarding how that's set up, how often they meet, and things like that with the kids?
Okay, so our 2025 cohort, are you a 2025 or 2026 student, ma'am?
2025.
Okay, so our 2025 cohort students meet on Tuesdays. They meet on Zoom and they're recorded. Sometimes they meet as they get further into their junior year, they're going to start, as we get close to that August date, we're going to start meeting more. Right now, they're individually working. So we have our cohort meeting and they have their individual tasks. So right now they're working on those drafts of those essay introductions. And so they don't need to meet on those. They write them, they submit them in their online portal. I review them, give them back comments in their online portal, and we go back and forth. They're working on drafting their resumes. They're working on drafting their recommendation letters so that they're ready to go out if their counselors and teachers want them by the end of this year, or if they want them for the fall of next year. And so our meetings are always scheduled in advance. The students always know they can access the Zoom links in their online portal. And they already know we get on our meetings from, like, if we were meeting tomorrow, we would then set the date for the next meeting. So everyone already is in agreement to what Tuesdays we're going to meet. And we usually meet at 7 p.m. And we're usually off by 8 o'clock at the latest because we know it's school nights for them most of the time. In the summer, we get a little risque and sometimes they're not working and they might say, oh, Ms. Robinson, let's meet on a Wednesday at 12 o'clock noon. Let's do a lunch hour, right? So we fluctuate with that as well. We understand that students are committed to sports, extracurricular activities, plus their academic interests, which is why we meet on Zoom always and we do not meet in person because we want to make sure students can have this as easy as possible, but most importantly, that they're as confident as possible in the process. Someone said, when should students start working on college essay and personal statements? If they're in the class of 2025, they should be starting to work now. If they're in the class of 2026, does not mean they can't gain a head start. They can still start drafting their college essay. It's never too early. Are essays a one size fits all? Absolutely. Explain that a little bit more. Are you saying, meaning so here's what I tell my students, and here's what our students do in our program. We write one solid essay and we turn that solid essay and we flip it around several times. So if you're meaning that, then if you have a solid one first, you can turn that solid one into a multiple one. And then you do not have to keep rewriting separate essays. It might be that you have to decrease word count or that you need to answer a question a little different. We just change around paragraphs and words, and then we add in content to make that essay stand alone for that next essay. You can write the one essay that's for the Common App for all schools, right? But then if they have a separate supplemental essay for the school, then you cannot use what you had in your Common App essay for your supplemental essay. That's when we write additional essays for sure. Will the college essays change? If you're a class of 2026 student, there is a possibility they will change, not that much and not that drastic. So if you're a 2026 student, there is a possibility the essays will change. If you're a 2025 student, we stand where we stand. It is the Common App essay questions that we have right now. Yeah, so you're welcome, Miss Octavia. And so, yes, we stand where we stand right now. If you're a class of 2025 student, those essay questions are those essay questions for sure. Miss Zanelia said, will we email these links? We can add the links into the email. Nathia, if you can set up for the links to go out in the email, that would be great. We can email the links inside the thank you email. We will have a replay of this, and the replay will come out tomorrow. So there'll be a second email you'll get tomorrow, and that will have the replay in it. So remember, if you're a family that's interested in possibility of your student being enrolled in a VIP program, please remember, I said it publicly, we have 6 spots. I don't want you to call me in a week from now and say, Ms. Robinson, I want in, and I say there's no more spots. We literally have 2025 cohort, 6 spots left. And so I want to make sure I'm clear about that, so there's no come back at me and say, Ms. Robinson, you never said how many students you had, and I thought you had a lot of spots left. So we have 6 spots for the 2025. Currently, if you want to enroll your child as a sophomore, we only have 4 more spots as a sophomore. You cannot create a Common App account until your child is a senior in August 1st when it opens again for seniors. So again, if you're interested in your child enrolling in our VIP program, please don't hesitate. If you have questions and you're on the fence, don't hesitate to reach out to us. Don't hesitate to schedule a discovery call. I wish I had asked one of my parents to come on tonight. I didn't even get a chance. They've been busy working and getting FAFSA done for my class of 2024 cohort, because I would have brought on one of my 2024 cohort parents on, and they would have been able to listen. I don't want you to only hear it from me. I want you to hear it from them too, of their happiness with the programs and their success as well. What is the deadline for the college visit? Are you referring to the college tour? Oh, yes. We still have 20 spots left. When those 20 spots go, then we don't have any more seats left. So we currently still have 20 seats left on the bus for students to attend the college tour. And so that we can, you can go to our website and find that as well. Nathai, can you drop the college tour link in the chat? And then that way Miss Octavia can grab the link and she'll be able to see. So if anyone's interested in the college tour, checking out the tour, the link is in the feed also. And you can make sure you check out that. We do have 20 seats still left on that. So before we jump off, if there's any parent the flyer is also on the website as well, where you can see the flyer on the actual college tour website also. When you go to the website, the flyer is there, as well as it's just the website with all the details about it. So once you click that link, you'll be able to access the flyer. If there's any parents who's left, who's still on, who has any questions, if you're on the fence, not really sure, want me to answer 1 or 2 more questions about our program, by all means, please, we're here. I'm here to answer any questions you might have. If you know you're interested in your child getting a spot, let us know. You can direct chat us in the chat, or you can just chat and say, I'm definitely considering, I'm still thinking about it, I'm on the fence. And again, if you're on the fence, you can schedule a discovery call and I can answer any questions that you might have to get you off the fence. The VIP 500, meaning the discount of the $500, will be offered up until Thursday at 11:59, and then that will go away, and it will be our regular prices for the remainder of the time. So again, if you're thinking about it and you're considering, please, we would love to have you as a shining star. I promise you, it is the best investment you will ever make in you and your child. I am here to support you. I'm here to be that voice for you. I am here to be the confidence that you need to make sure you are navigating this process. I tell parents all the time, it will either cost you now or later. The later will cost you way more than the now does now. Because we are going to make sure you look at those schools that's going to get you the money that you need so that you're not applying to college and going into debt. So we are here to answer anything that you might have. When should students create a Common App? Remember, I said you can't create a Common App until your child is a senior, and it opens in August during your child's senior year. So meaning if they are a class of 2025, they're a junior now. When they leave school in June, they are officially a rising now senior. in August of that summer, the Common App will open, and that's when you will be able to actually create your Common App login. Right now, it would just be you creating a Common App login, but it will just be you creating a dummy login, meaning you can do the practice, but it's not your official one that you would need for the year when you're going to graduate. Same thing for the FAFSA. It does not open until your child is a senior, not this year. So that is for seniors graduating in 2024 right now. All right. Any other questions? We got about 1 minute left. Any final questions? Oh, you guys are so welcome. Someone said thank you. So last and final question. If you got something, if you learned something new, if you got some new nuggets, if you are feeling more confident now, if you are like, thank you, I'm so happy I showed up tonight, drop some emojis in the chat. Let us know that you are satisfied with attending our masterclass tonight, and that way I know that we did what we were supposed to do. I was making it a poll, which probably helps quicker, but I'm spelling all kinds of craziness. I can make it live. Let's see, how do I launch it? I was trying to make it a quick poll, but of course I did something wrong. I can't tell if it's launched. Let's see. Oh, I think I never stopped the other one. I was trying to hurry up and make it a launch. Okay, so I launched it as a poll just to make it doable for everyone to be able to see. And thank you guys again for jumping on, for tuning in. As always, we hope this is knowledge that you can use, that you can take with you, that you can run with you, that you can allow it to be used to help you and your family. I only wish someone like myself existed. When I was in high school, I was a first generation college student, and my parents did not know how to support me in the college process. And so we did it blindsided, and we made a lot of mistakes. And from then on, I was determined to help other families not do the same thing, which is why Suited for Success is simply not a logo. It is truly a testament. I found out about college and decided to go to college based off of going on a college tour, which is why 13 years later, I am still doing college tours for families, which is why 13 years later, I am still helping students navigate college, because I believe we all deserve to turn our dreams of attending college into a reality. And so I am here to support you, assist you, and give you everything you need to win the game of college admission. So again, thank you so much for tuning in to tonight's masterclass. We hope you will continue following us, connect with us on social media, and I look forward to serving some of you and your students in the VIP College Bound program, and look forward to you becoming shining stars. Thank you again so much for jumping on with us tonight. We look forward again to you staying connected on our newsletter. Have an amazing evening on purpose and continue to be successful in your academic journey. Thank you so much.